Hello and welcome to another episode of Cooking in Bobby's Kitchen. Today we are going to be making my grandmother's bread and butter pickles. I grew cucumbers this year and this is my year to make pickles, so I'll be making her bread and butter pickles and also some dill pickles. So I do it every other year, so this is the other year. So stay tuned and I'll be right back and show you how we get her done. Okay, here we go. This is my cucumbers that I picked over the last 2 or 3 days out of my garden. And I think I have enough for one batch. If not, we're going to fudge it. So, in order to get started here, you want to take off the blossom end of your cucumber, which is the part that the flower is attached to, not the end that the stem came to, but you want to discard the one with the flower portion. Get rid of that. And then, safety issues. I use a mandolin to slice up my cucumbers, but I've got a little trick. I've got one of those metal gloves that I put on, so I do not have to use any safety features whatsoever. As you see, I can run my fingers over the blade and it does not cut me whatsoever. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start slicing up these cukes, getting them ready for making pickles. Now I ain't going to let you sit here and watch this till I'm completely done. I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera and then bring you back at the next step. But before I do, let me give you a little history lesson. The bread and butter pickle has been around for a few centuries, but it became popular and I guess reinvented back in the 1920s by a couple that grew cucumbers in Strader, Illinois. Their name was Omar and Cora Fanning, that was their name, and they perfected the recipe, I guess, and everybody loved it, so that's how we got these bread and butter pickles recipes that we have today. I think this is the one my grandmother got from them. So anyways, we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. I got them all sliced up. There's one thing or actually a couple of things I didn't tell you, I don't think. The reason you cut off the blossom end of the cucumber, you don't want it in with your pickles, is because it has an enzyme that breaks down the cucumber. So over time it will make your cucumbers and your jars soft, and we don't really want that. So that's why you cut it off and dispose of it. And the other thing is this cucumber type that I grew this year, it's the first time, it's called Beit Alpha, B-E-I-T Alpha. It's an Israeli hybrid that they've made. It is sweet, crunchy, and the skin is tender and edible. And let's see, what was the other thing? You cannot grow it with any other relative of the cucumber family, or it will make these things bitter. So none of my neighbors garden, so I'm good. So the recipe calls for 4 quarts of sliced cucumbers, and I ended up with 6. So we're going to make a batch and a half. So I'm going to dump these on into my handy dandy bucket, because we're going to add all the ingredients in here. It's got to soak in ice and salt solution for 3 hours before we can start canning. So I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up the bell peppers and the onions and get it in there. And before I do, I'll show you the slices so I don't have to bore you with the actual cutting of it. Be right back. Okay, we're back. I went ahead and sliced up the bell peppers. And actually I have 2 red and 2 green that I've chopped up, and you can see about the size like this that you need for your recipe, it called for 2 cups of each color, but there's a little bit more because I have an extra half a batch that I had to make. So same thing, just dump it in with your cukes into the pot here, and then we got to get the onions out and slice them up, and I'll be right back as soon as I get that done. Okay, I'm back, and I just finished chopping the onions. It calls for 2 quarts of thinly sliced half ring onions, and by that I mean is you cut your onion in half like so and make thin slices, so then they'll actually just break up when you're doing the next process or cooking it. But it calls for 2 quarts, but I got a batch and a half, so I got 3 quarts, and it's all be going into a collection bucket like so. And the next thing it calls for that we have to put in with here is salt. I'll go ahead and get that out and get it measured up, and we'll put it together. Okay, got the salt out. This is pickling salt. It's what you want, not table salt. So go ahead and put that in. It calls for half a cup, but again, I'm doing a batch and a half, so I'm putting in 3/4 of a cup. Just sprinkle it over the top of the whole kit and caboodle, and set your measuring stuff and salt aside. Next thing you do is add ice. Lots and lots of ice. The reason you do these salts is to draw some of the moisture out of the cukes, bell peppers, and onions, and that'll make for a sturdier, put the big chunks away, a sturdier cucumber when you're done. So go ahead and open up this bag, dump it in, get out the big chunks, in my drink. Get the ones that ran across the countertop. Then get in there and start digging with your hands and flip her over, stir it all in, mix it up, get that salt incorporated into the cukes and the onions and the bell peppers. Give it a quick stir, and then set it and forget it. It's got to sit here and do that for 3 hours, and in the meantime, I don't know, about every 30 minutes or so, come in there and give it a stir like I just did and get it mixed up. So make sure that everything comes in contact with the salt solution so it can pull out the moisture. And I will be back in about 3 hours. Okay, got about an hour left for the cucumber, pepper, and onion mixture to sit in that ice. So I'm going to go ahead and throw together the sauce that it goes in. Alright, here I've got my sugar. I got 4 cups of sugar and 1 quart of apple cider vinegar is what it calls for. But I'm going to have to go with 6 cups and 1.5 quarts of the cider vinegar because of the quantity of cucumbers I have. And here's my gigantic pot so it'll all fit in one batch. So I'm going to dump the vinegar in, 4 cups of sugar, and I will have the complete recipe in the body of the video down below somewhere. I need 2 more cups of sugar. She's coming out. I buy it in big quantities. That's why it's in a milk jug right now. I store it away. And there we go, 2 cups. So add the 2 cups in. And after that, we go ahead and do the other spices. We need 3 tablespoons of mustard seed. So open this bad boy up. I'll just let you see all on this plate what it looks like. There's 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of mustard seed, 1.5 tablespoons of celery seed. Here we go. So I had to go buy some more this afternoon before I started because I don't think I'm going to quite have enough. There's 1. And then I got my 1/2 tablespoon here. And yep, I was right. I didn't have quite enough. So open up my new little bottle. And fill her up. Yep, looks good. Alright, after celery seed, we need ground ginger, and we need 1.5 tablespoons of it. So, here we go. Here's the 1/2. Here's the tablespoon. Woo! That was perfect though. Alright. And then after ginger, we have turmeric. We need 1.5 tablespoons of it. This stuff, oh, it stains everything. Even your spatulas will be bright yellow when you get done. There's 1. And we get out the 1/2. There's 2. There's the 1/2 tablespoon. And then after turmeric, we have black pepper, and we need 3/4 of a teaspoon. So, get my old black pepper shaker out here, and see if we have a 3/4 teaspoon. Well, we got a 1/2, and we got a 1/4. We'll do those 2. There's 1/4. There's a 1/2. Okay, now that's all the spices that we'll be putting into the mixture for the sauce. And boy, it makes it potent and strong. So anyways, I'll be back in a little bit, and we'll get to the cucumbers, drain them and clean them up, and then start the process of heating everything up. Okay, for the next step in this process, we need to drain off the water off of the cucumber mixture. So go ahead and do that. After this, we're gonna be heating it up, so if you see any big ice chunks, go ahead and just pull it out. But right now it's still covered with salt, so we want to rinse it off and get some of that salt off of there. And it should be good. And then right behind the camera here that you can't see, there's a gigantic bowl that we'll go ahead and dump it into. Woo, look at all that ice in there still. And then we're going to do that with the other half and get it rinsed off, and then I will show you what the next step of this is. Okay, after draining and pulling off the ice chunks and rinsing all this off, this is what we have left. and right now it's going to sit here for a few minutes, and I got to go over and start heating up the sauce mixture, and I will take you over there and show you how that goes. Okay, this is about as close as I can get you to the action here. This is a extremely large pot. I'm going to go ahead and start stirring all the vinegar, sugar, and spices together and get it hot and melted. And what we're looking for to end this process is just when it starts to boil along the edges of the pot. That's when you want to add your cucumbers and then bring it back up to a boil until you see the edges of the pot starting to simmer again. So I will bring you back when it's time, or actually when this starts simmering and it's time to add the cucumbers. I'll be right back. Okay, this pot's just about coming to a simmer. If you look right along the edge, right here, you can see it boiling. That's what you want. That's when you add your cucumbers, and then you wait for that to happen again when your cucumbers are cooking, and then it's ready to can. Okay, I just added the cucumber mixture in here. Let me get this centered a little better for you so you can see. And I'm just going to give it a little quick stir here, get it incorporated and sunk underneath the juices. Okay, now we got to cook this, or get it hot until you see that little simmering along the edge again. And then this is ready to put in jars and get ready for the water bath. I just put on the canner for the water bath. It's outside on the barbecue. And pretty quick here, we're going to be filling up jars and getting them put in there. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I had to miss a step because my camera got too hot, it wouldn't record. I was going to show you the cucumber simmering on the stove, but my camera wouldn't cooperate. So it's time to can them up. I've got sterile hot jars, and we're going to can these bad boys up and put them in the water bath. So I'm just going to show you how simple this is. Get your handy dandy scooper out, scoop it in, let it fall down in there, and you want to leave about a ½ inch of head space. Don't know what happened, but you all went away. I don't know what point, but I went ahead and filled the jars. I stuck a butter knife in there, swirled it around to get the air bubbles out. I wiped the lids down. The rims down. I put lids on. Now I'm going to put the rings to hold the lids on. Just put it finger tight. Set it over here in my water bath canner chill. And then we'll fill up the other jars. I got one I'm going to do for a neighbor. She's always doing stuff for me. I'm not sure if she likes bread and butter pickles or not, but we'll see. Butter knife. Squish it around, get them bubbles out. Get some juice to go in. Wipe the rim. This is the only smallmouth jar that I have. That's a pint. In fact, it's the only pint I have left. So put that on. This one processes for 5 minutes, quarts for 10 in the water bath. But the first 4 I did are pints and a half jars, or so they're anything like that. It has to go the size of a quart. Same for half pints. You would cross them pretty much the same time frame as you would a pint. Ooh, smell got me. Vicious. Alright, take her out. Looks like we might get 1 or 2 more of these. Swirl down in there. Build the juice line. A bit more. Right there. Wipe the lid down. Oh yeah, I've got this, it's calcium chloride put in there. It's supposed to make the pickles stay firmer. We'll see how it works. But I'm going to go ahead and get off of here and let you come back in a little bit here. Okay, I got them all in the pot. Ended up being 5 quarts and 1 pint of the bread and butter pickles. And then I have probably a quart left of the juice over there that I'm going to go ahead and can and save for another day. And that's it, other than wait for this to start boiling and then set the timer for 10 minutes. I'll have to take the little pint out at 5 minutes and then set them on the counter and wait till tomorrow when they cool off and the lid's sealed. Okay, here's the final product out of the hot bath. Take you on a quick tour around. Not bad. Ended up with 4 or 5 quarts, a pint, and a quart of juice left over. That's it.